Hello, my dear Groaners, and once again we're back for another Lost GZ episode. This one's Lost episode 45. We're getting there. We're getting there. As stated though, there'll be no audience groan during the course of recovering the Lost episodes. So sorry to anyone who sent them in. You will be getting them read out at some point, just not yet. We're going to churn through these mini episodes this week. If you haven't heard this before, we'll blast through them and everything will be fine. We'll be ready for a special episode coming up number 50, which is the admin's job, where I'm going to be literally reading out what she's given me. Please be kind, admin, as she probably rubs her hands laughing maniacally. Oh, just mentioned me, she's added loads of tongue twisters to this. Oh, God. Why did I have to get an admin? Why? Anyhow, this is meant to be a mini episode, and I'm not going to groan about my admin because she helps. And she knows this. Thank you, admin. Now, anyway, just a little reminder. If you have a groan to share, or an Ohhh Unlucky, or a well, that's creepy, for now, just for now, because that's creepy will be getting retired near Halloween 2023 in favour of some audacious stories for a year that the admin has written, and you're going to love them. Now, anyway, just because this is micro, pretty much, episodes, the games have been shrunk as well, as we explained on Monday's episode. So, today's game is going to be a micro version of Gimme the Question. Instead of 3 rounds, you're going to get 1. And we also have Zero or Hero of the Day. You'll find out which later on. Of course, they're going to be heroes or zeros of the, not just the day, but for all time. And Ohhh Unlucky will be featured too. So stay tuned, Groaners. We're nearly there. We are catching up. Let's start off, though, with my single groan, no change there, for Tuesday. And it's Snapchat. Why the hell have they made an AI bot for it, which is pretty much redundant? Yes, you can talk to this app bot, AI bot, and it'll tell you certain answers to questions and stuff. But that's why you have search engines for. That's why you have things like Google and the other one, Alexa and things like that. I don't know why people have decided to create a Snapchat bot. What's the point? Exactly. There isn't one. And now they've also done this thing where Snapchat has become a mini version of Facebook, and it will recommend you friends. And these are people who you've never even heard of. They're not even on your contacts list. So if you suggest, oh yeah, I might add them, you could be adding a complete psychopath. Who in the Snapchat headquarters thought this would be a good idea? Tell you what, Snapchat HQ reverted back to what it used to be, and there you are, a decent app. Why mess with it? But there we go. There goes fleeing another groan for another day. And also, just to go back to the episode I had yesterday, there'll be no clicking during the course of this episode because I've turned off what was making the clicking sound. I'm sorry if that was so loud for anybody. It even surprised me when it happened. But now we dive into a quick single round game of Gimme the Question. You know how to play this. I give the answer first. You get given 3 questions, and then if it's slipped up then 3 questions. 1 of them is correct. Other 2 are bunk. Now here we go. Your answer is Michael A. Fox. Your questions are, what is Michael J. Fox's real name? That's number 1. Number 2, who starred in early episodes of Mars Attacks, the animated TV show? And 3, who often gets mistaken for the male lead of Back to the Future due to his name? Those playing along live, have a think, stick your answers down. Those playing along after the fact it's been recorded, press pause, answer, unpause. And the person's gone in for number 2. Any other answers on 2? Any more? Seems I've stumped people this week. Or today, I should say. Option 2. Okay, we will come back to this later. Oh, anyone else typing? Nope. Okay, we're moving on because this is supposed to be a small episode and we've got a huge Ohhh Unlucky to get to. But speaking of Ohhh Unlucky, here it is. Now, this guy, I feel so bad for. Such an unlucky guy. And his name was Walter Summerford. And he's widely considered to be the world's most unfortunate man. Not only was he struck by lightning multiple times over the course of his life, but once more after his death for good measure. It clearly didn't take long for suggestions to point to him being cursed, which I dare say didn't help him living through the course of his life. The first time Walter was struck by lightning, he had already experienced the horrors of World War I. And it happened as he rode his horse on the Belgian front. A lightning bolt hit him, knocking him clean from his saddle. Although he was thrown from the horse, he survived, but it was paralysed from the waist down, leaving him confined to a wheelchair. Many years later, after the war, he'd left the battlefield clearly behind and started a brand new life in Canada. He had fallen particularly in love with the sport of fishing, dedicating much of his time to the lakes and enjoying the successes of competitive fishing. He had adapted to life with paralysis and found that fishing offered him the freedom that other sports couldn't. However, he was out on a fishing trip in 1924. He was sat with a rod between his legs under a tree when a bolt of lightning hit the tree, and the current travelled down the trunk and into Walter's body. However, something positive happened here. The second lightning strike didn't badly injure him, but reportedly helped ease his paralysis. 2 days after the lightning strike, he regained some use of his legs. The final lightning strike came in 1930, 6 years after the last. This time, he was moving on his own 2 feet once more, having enjoyed the newfound freedom that came with his recovery. Taking to having walks around local parks, enjoying the scenery, and taking in all the sights and things like that. Now, on one such walk, the weather suddenly changed and the clear skies turned grey and black and everything else, like a doomsday event. For the last time, Walter was hit once more. He survived this time, but he was completely paralysed. Completely. Oh, bless him. This one left him with severe medical problems as well, and he remained paralysed in that state until his death just 2 years later. Not long after this, though, he of course, 2 years later, he died, as we said. But then he was buried in Mountain View Cemetery, which is in Vancouver. But it doesn't end there. Walter was not able to rest soundly for long. In 1936, just 4 years after he was buried, a storm began to brew over the cemetery. Yep, you know what's coming. And once more, Walter was struck by lightning. While of course he was clearly dead, and it hit him where he was buried, his gravestone blew up on impact. Poor guy. Honestly, that's now 2 people over the course of this podcast that have had run-ins with lightning. I think the last poor sod was hit 7 times. 7. I've not even been hit once. Poor unlucky guys. Someone just agreed there. Can't even catch a break after death. Bang on there. Bang on, audience member. Now, let's almost round the show off with a hero of the day. But like I said before, they're considered heroes for all time. And I keep saying this week's, today's, is a rescue dog in a wheelchair who's going to climb. I'm sorry to anyone who's in Wales. I'm probably going to butcher the name of this mountain. Yeah, Wydfa. I'm going to spell it instead. YRWYDDFA. And she's climbing that mountain for charity. The charity that, of course, rescued her when she was a pup and helped her mobilise and with the use of a wheelchair and everything. And all I'm going to say is both this dog and her team, because of course she's not going to do it on her own, good night, team that helps her. The team and the dog herself are instant heroes, and I really hope both she and the team raise a ton of money for charity. If you want to know what the charity is, I'll post a link in the show notes, and then you can go and donate. But to close off now, to really close off the show, we're going to give you the answers to Micro Give Me the Question. Anyone who just joined when we've come to the end of the show there, all I want you to do is just close your ears. So, your answer for Give Me the Question was Michael A. Fox. Your questions were, I'll reiterate them again. Number 1, what is Michael J. Fox's real name? 2, who starred in early episodes of Mars Attacks the Animated TV show? 3, who often gets mistaken for the male lead who was in Back to the Future due to his name? The correct answer was option 1. What is Michael J. Fox's real name? Yes, he changed it from Michael A. Fox because he didn't want to have a name that could be considered funny when people were going to hire him. Yep, Michael A. Fox is really Michael J. Fox. The other two are complete hogwash, rubbish, all bunk. Hopefully, those play along after the show's published. You get some points there. We're now coming to the end of today's episode. We'll see you again for more tomorrow. Take care, Groaners. See you later. Bye-bye. Hey Groaners, little after note, just to say, unfortunately I couldn't find a link for the charity that the dog is doing the climb for. Sorry.